What up, Dokkanners? Let's go ahead and go through the best teams to run for Arinsu and Panzy. I'm going to be covering both in this video, so I'm going to be breaking them apart. We're just going to start right away with the Arinsu. When it comes to best teams, it is subjective, it is opinion-based. What I consider to be the best might be different from you. So if you have any other combinations or team-ups or otherwise, underrated choices that I didn't mention in the video, do point it out in the comments down below. You could be helping someone with that same sort of situation. But real quick, as a summary, both of them function best as Daima. And so that's essentially what you're going to be seeing throughout the chunk of this video. If you really want to stretch it and try to make this work outside of Daima, you can. But unfortunately, because of the purpose of this, which is to bring the most out of the character, you just can't do that. You can run them, sort of on other teams, but they will definitely lose a lot of their core functionality. They will not be as strong or durable or dodgy or, damage-orific. So I would say just focus on Daima. If when in doubt, just run them on Daima. We're going to start with best teams with them as the main lead, then off lead, and then no new units. And then I guess at the end of the video, or I guess at the end of each section, I'll also incorporate the other character because some of you might want to know how to run both on the same team. So let's start with Arinsu. Arinsu's leader skill or lead buffs. So let's let's start with just a quick summary. So she's a slot 1. She will either dodge before and after attacks, or she will do a little bit more damage with less combos, but she'll gain some resistance. So what I mean by that is it's all about whether you approach this with 11 or 12 key. If you focus on an 11 key strategy for Arinsu, your experience is going to be very different, because with the 11 key, before you get attacked, you will have 90% dodge, assuming all of the conditions are met, 90% dodge, 0 guard, 50% damage reduction. This part of the passive is gone. You're going to lose a little bit of your offense, but as a trade-off, you're launching your first attack, which gives yourself 30% chance to dodge. Then you're launching 2 additional attacks, each of which has a 70% chance of becoming a super. So if all 3 of your supers subsequently, or even your 4 supers, yeah, because you're hit a potential. So if 4 of your supers were to proc, you would be giving yourself guaranteed dodge because these will all add up. 30% dodge per super, 30 plus 30 plus 30, that's 90. So just 3 supers gets you to 90% dodge, which is basically what you had beforehand. But now you have it after you attack. And then if you get a 4th super off, you're guaranteed dodge. So that is the trade-off, if you will. You're basically going to be a dodge slot 1. Whereas if you forego the 11 key and you go for the 12 key, you will gain more muscle, you will gain some defense, you will gain some damage reduction. But as a trade-off, you will then be multiplicatively raising your attack, raising your defense, causing immense damage, and then ensuring critical will happen for the rest of the turn. Now, for the rest of the turn is highly contingent on your hit a potential at that point because you need additional. You have foregone the combos here because you went for the 12 key. So it's a very methodical sort of approach to running Arinsu. You want Arinsu to be dodge or muscle. That's kind of the approach. So either way, this is a slot 1. You have some restrictions because you have to have extreme class allies on the team. You have to have mission execution or siblings bonds on the team. You have to have 1 demonic power or battle of wits on the team. So for this character to function the best, all of these have to be met. And if you don't do that, well, you're really not running this character the best that you can, so you really shouldn't bother. In terms of lead buffs, which characters fit under this unit's leader skill? So shout out to Dokkan Database for displaying everything here. You don't have to do the dirty work yourself, doing all the cross-sectioning in game. You can check right here. All the characters that fit the leader skill are here. The main ones to take away from this would be the Daima characters, the Piccolos, and also crossover. I don't think it's ultimately a good idea to run crossover with Arinsu or even Panzy. Both have this, but there is a way to do it. Some people have said that because there's some crossover sort of representation here, maybe this could be hinting at some sort of a crossover EZA for like heroes characters. That's just wishful thinking. I wouldn't buy into that. Also 21, there's still a chance that she gets an EZA. But scrolling down here, more crossover characters. You got the Peppy Gals, the recent releases. More crossover, some androids in here. I mean, the siblings bond thing, yeah, you might want to run the androids, but honestly, most androids are kind of closed circuit. So if you bring them in, you're kind of hurting both causes because you need androids here, and this character needs demonic power, so there's not going to be much synergy there. And then down here, more Daima. Daima. Wait, Super Saiyan 4. Oh my god. Super Saiyan 4 Goku doesn't even fit on the full leader skill. Only the mini does. Goma fits. Super Saiyan 4 mini does. Yikes. Okay. I mean, like, the prototypical Daima team should contain at least one Super Saiyan 4 adult, right? Because that is like one of the strongest units in the game. So just not seeing that already makes me kind of bummed out. So there you go. All right, so those are the lead buffs. And then real quickly, in terms of characters that can also lead the Arinsu, it's all Daima. Every single one of the, look, all but 2 characters are Daima. All of them. And then you got Battle of Wits Goku, and you got a partial lead for the Gamados and the Piccolo. Don't run them outside of Daima. That's the moral of the story. So let's go ahead and jump in and do our first team build here. I guess, yeah, I always do this for the first one. Let's go ahead and build it together. Shout out to Dokkan Stats and Dokkan Database. Dokkan Stats for the team builder, Dokkan Database for the cool features that we saw before. So we're gonna start with this. We're trying to bring the most out of the character itself. We're not trying to make the greatest team imaginable. We're trying to build the best team so that the Arinsu can function the best. So this is what we're doing. Dude, Majin Du, or yeah, is it Majin Du? Yeah, Majin Du's down here. Dude, the synergy sucks, bro. It sucks. All right, so here we go. For the first build, we've got double Arinsu. Arinsu needs 3 extreme characters, so she counts 1, 2, and 3, so that takes care of that. In terms of siblings bond or mission execution, we only need 2, but we have is this guy mission execution? I don't remember, but we got our 2 right here. This is one of our best link buddies for Arinsu. The difference between this guy and the Glorio, the Glind Master, is that you get shattering the limit here. Now, the thing about this link up is that you want to be very aware of what her key situation is going to be. She gets no key anywhere in her kit. She provides key to others, but she does not have key herself. The only source of key comes from shattering the limit, which gives her key +2. Ideally, on any given key +3 led team, she is getting 6 key, but we want to get 11 key for the super attack. So if she's got 6 key, she needs another 6 to reach 12. With shattering the limit, she actually has 8 key. She only needs 4 to reach 12. So you either have to pick up 3 key spheres or 4 key spheres. If this Glorio's on the rotation and he is in slot 3, he will give you an additional key. So you have to be very careful when you are setting up your rotation. And if you're running this Glorio, how many key you're actually going to be giving the Arinsu. That's if you want to go the dodge build. If you don't care about it, you just want to go max 12 key, then that's completely fine. Go nuts. This will make it more consistent. But without the shattering the limit, this guy is basically just the Supreme Kai, because they two share pretty much the same links. We're getting a healthy dose of attack and defense. Cold Judgment, great to provide extra defense to reinforce the damage reduction on the guard. This guy's not exactly the greatest defender on, like, you know, high level endgame events, but again, it's about bringing the most out of the Arinsu. So this is how we accomplish that. So if we go for a 12 key, she's going to be doing a lot more damage between these two here. How much are we getting in total? We're getting 50% attack, 45% defense. Down here, we're getting 45% attack, 40% defense. Yeah, it's the shattering the limit. That's the one difference. This is actually a nice underrated addition to the rotation, because the Piccolo can give extra crit to everybody. While she gets guaranteed crit for the turn after she launches her 12 key, you need a max additional build to really get a good chance for an additional at that 12 key setup. And if that doesn't happen, your first attack is probably going to be your only one, and that's not going to be a crit, or it may not be. And if it isn't, this guy could help with that. So this guy's going to help bring more out of Arinsu. The Majin Du here is obviously going to be useful because he benefits greatly from her targeted support, but then also on turn 4, he gets the extra busted ability with, like, the orb changing and all that stuff. So he will be a nice floater unit to have for some rear guard and some dodging and some damaging and stuff. And then in terms of alternates, I mean, there are a few good ones. I think, actually, if you guys summoned on the Tanabata celebration, the Int Piccolo is probably going to be a recurring unit that you see in a lot of future team builds because of his rear guard capabilities. Well, not really guard, but more so just living dangerously. But in the slot 3, with his maximum support, he can give 110%. He also fits demonic power, so he can work on this sort of a team if you so choose. You got the 2 Peppy Gal characters, the Mamba with her extra crazy damage potential. She only needs to have what is it for? She has 2 different requirements. It's not just about Peppy Gals. Yeah, when another 3 or more Peppy Gals or Battle of Wits category allies are on the team, or when there's an STR type. Battle of Wits. So let's take a look at Battle of Wits. Battle of Wits. Arinsu, check. Majin Ku, check. Glorio, check. Glorio, check. Piccolo. So Mamba will fit on this team, and you can get some nice extra damage out there if you want. And then this guy basically just fits for any Daima. That was the point of this character. Any Daima unit that you want to throw onto the team, you can. Also, Toa does kind of fit because you have the demonic power portion taken care of. However, down here, the crossover portion will suffer. So you have to be mindful. You will be lacking 15% damage reduction, which could make or break the character depending on the event that you're doing. And then I also threw in the Gamados and Piccolo because that unit is just a nice floater in general. High dodge, high combo power, a good chaser on any team, 220%. So there you go. That's our first build. And I wouldn't say that this is the best, but given how strict it is to run her team, it's going to be mainly looking like this. Like, you're going to have a bunch of, like, you're not going to be having LR Saiyans on the team. It's going to look more like this. So maybe this is the best team. I don't know. All right, so this is probably a more natural approach, I feel like, that I don't want to say natural, maybe more of a typical approach people will probably make with running this character. So running this unit off lead, so you would have Super Saiyan 4, you would have Super Saiyan 3, any one of the Daima characters really will fit as the lead, right? Because we saw that right here. So whatever you want to run, that will be your lead. And then it's just a matter of fitting all the prerequisites. This character needs 3 extremes. 1, 2, 3. This character needs mission execution or siblings bond. All right. 1, 2. They are both mission execution and siblings bond. I had a brain fart for a second. They're both mission execution and siblings bond. There's Majin Ku right there and Majin Du. So that takes care of that. Great. All right. So now that all that's done, well, what do you do? Well, this unit's in slot 1. If you're going to be running the 11 key setup, honestly, links don't matter because you're going to have 90% dodge slot 1 before your attacks. And if you get your 11 key and you launch a couple of supers, 60%, 90%, whatever the case may be, you might be fine afterwards. Just keep in mind, 90% dodge post attack means you have to get lucky on every single one of those attacks. So I wouldn't count on that happening all the time, but that is one way you can do this. If you don't like that, one rotation can be more super centric. The other rotation can be more extreme centric, something more like this. But as you can see, this is a very lopsided and weird looking team build where one rotation you're fine, the other rotation you're kind of risky, right? So use at your own risk. If you don't like this setup, then we can maybe run it a different way where we have more of a focus on the main 2 rotations being more extreme, and we just run double Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, and they can both provide extra defense in the slot 3. So now we've got Arinsu in the slot 1, and maybe we can prioritize giving her more synergy. So now instead of having the Du brothers or the Majin brothers, we can put Glorio there for more synergy. Or if you don't want to run that, you could run Nare, right? Mr. Government Man, this guy. And then you can do something, whatever you want over here. Maybe we'll throw in Goma, right? Goma has nothing, actually they have Master of Magic, don't they? Yeah. But Goma can be on this rotation. Goma can provide additional defense. That Goma defense will be great to combine with her 12 key approach when she gets the guard and the damage reduction. That will actually be a very underrated combination. And then you can focus on, you know, making this work out a little bit more. So now we've got our 3 extremes. We've got mission execution. We do not have, we don't have siblings bond or mission execution here. So we would need to have one more mission execution. And there you go. So that's another way that we could do it. So I didn't really, as far as alternates go, I don't really have any alternates for the sake of this video other than just Daima. Whatever leader skill you want to run, it could be Super Saiyan 4, it could be Super Saiyan 3, it could even be Super Saiyan 4 Mini. Whatever you need to do to run your Daima team, you can, depending on the lead, and then you just have to make it work with this character in the slot 1. I don't know if I would ever want this to be a situation where it's like Goma slot 1, Arinsu slot 2, but I suppose you could, because in the slot 2, the only thing that you're going to lose is 300% attack. But as far as everything else, you'll still retain everything else as long as you do what you want to do. If you're going full 11 key, then you'll gain more dodge. If you're going 12 key, then you will have the defense given from the Goma plus guard and damage reduction when attacking. So I suppose you can run this unit in slot 2, but you're just gonna have to kind of overlook the minimal synergy here, and for me that just bothers me. I don't like that. So I don't know. Is this better than the last one? Probably not. I think the reason why I'm gonna say that this is worse than the last team is just because we're trying to mix and match two different worlds here. There's two different Daima teams at this point. There's the demonic Daima, there's the Saiyan Daima. Like if you're running demonic Daima, then you are not going to be running the Saiyan LRs. You're just not. And I think when we get to the showcase later on, I think we'll see that the demonic Daima is actually going to be pretty strong to where you don't actually need these guys. But because we're trying to fuse both styles into one team, it just looks very lopsided. But I think ultimately this could still work. Would I consider this better than the first team? Maybe not, but I mean, time will only tell, right? Before we move on to the Panzy portion of the video, just want to quickly show this is probably the best way that you can run both Arinsu and Panzy with Arinsu as the focus. Arinsu slot 1, Arinsu slot 1, synergy in the slot 2. This guy is actually, I mean, yeah, he's a free to play and he will be compromised a little bit, but he will have good tanking and good dodging after he supers. So there is that. And then Panzy is a good slot 2 character, which we'll see in a second. Panzy's best link buddy in the world is the masked Panzy. So you could either have something like this, or, you know, maybe you could have Panzy lead the rotations and you have Arinsu as a floater. But again, use with caution. As far as the extremes, because we've got double Arinsu, that's 1, 2. We just need one more, 3. Mission execution right here. Mission execution right here. So all conditions needed for everybody is taken care of right here. So there you go. Yeah, I mean, best team. I think the first one was probably the best, but yeah, it's probably going to be something more like this. When we get to the showcase, you're going to see a significant lack of Saiyans in that video. But there you go. That is the Arinsu portion of the video. Panzy. She is a slot 2, slot 3 damage extraordinaire. You don't need anything in terms of team building other than having one demonic power or battle of wits to initiate her entrance animation. But after that, she's got 20% damage reduction. She provides team support. She has targeted team support for Supreme Kai and Goku Mini. And after that, she's got some crit, she's got some stats, she's got some combos, and she's got some high damage potential because she's got multiplicative stacking. So with the combos and the crits, she will do some good damage. In terms of link buddies, best friend in the world, masked Panzy. 7 key, 70% attack, 30% defense. Trying to get both on the team and optimize both of their conditions would be ideal. In terms of lead buffs, Panzy leads, again, pretty much the same sort of stuff. Daima characters. You got some superhero in here. Superhero actually kind of works with Panzy pretty well. This guy is probably these guys are the only two that fit at the main leader skill, but you could also bring in like Gohan with a partial leader skill, which will help. Like if you don't have enough units to run a double Panzy team and you want to run double Panzy, you could do like a superhero variant of a Panzy team. You got some crossover action going here. Since it's more super focused, I don't think crossover is going to work because most of the crossover characters require more extreme characters, which isn't going to be a good thing. Down here, you've got some demonic power. I completely forgot about demonic power Realm of Gods. So that's an L for me. I know some of y'all roasted me for that. But look at this one. We've got the free-to-play Shen in here from the World Tournament. He has crazy dodging that was actually sort of unnecessary on Realm of Gods, but now he could actually be useful because on this team, if everybody on the rotation, actually when all allies are demonic power, Realm of Gods, or World Tournament, you can get this and he'll also get this and people actually benefit from it. So sort of a resurgence of sorts for Shen there, which is pretty neat, especially since Panzy's a slot 2 character. You need a slot 1 and you don't have Arinsu, bam, throw in Shen. Got some demonic power pure Saiyans. Oh yeah, Daima pure Saiyans. So at least Panzy allows you to bring in at full strength the Daima pure Saiyans. Arinsu couldn't do that for you. All right, so that's that. And then in terms of leader skills, characters that can work as in terms of leads, here we go. I'm gonna get to the no new units portion at the end of the video. I wanted to first show off all of this. So this is pretty much the same as the Arinsu one. The only difference is all the Daimas are here, and then we're also missing Gohan and Path to Power. You're never gonna run this. But the good news is, because Panzy is so self-reliant, you could if you needed to. Like if you needed the space, or if you needed the team to run for whatever reason, Panzy can be just an extra character to throw in here, you can. So that's cool. So let's go ahead and jump in and build our first team. All right, so here we go. This is a great start. Just compared to Arinsu, this is great because you have the flexibility of moving to the slot 2, slot 3 a lot more seamlessly. But here's a good setup. You can have Super Saiyan 3 Mini Daima Goku in the slot 1 to provide the team crit for everybody. This guy can provide the EX for multiple rotations of attack bonuses. More synergy in the slot 3, more synergy in the slot 3. Double Panzy, sure. So if you don't want Panzy to necessarily be floating around to have a situation like this, you can move Panzy into the slot 2. But I think the occasional, roadblock here wouldn't be too bad. But now your masked Panzy is going to be leading the charge. Masked Panzy is a full dodge character. Full dodge. And with 7 links, the amount that you're gaining on both, 70% attack, 30% defense, and all that key is huge. So this is actually going to make for some nice, well, as long as your RNG is good, this is going to make for some nice synergy here and some nice team play. If you don't even, actually you could do something like this if you really wanted to. I don't think you should. Does Panzy have any slot 1 protection? When in slots, you lose this when attacking that. Before evading an attack, you know what? You have a little bit of it. Yeah, chance to dodge plus 80% before evading. So if there's just one attack, you got 80% and you're good. So actually that could work. So that's actually not too bad. In terms of alternates, any Daima character, again, shouting out Shin. So if you guys did get the character from World Tournament, or if you haven't yet, we should be getting a World Tournament coming up. This could be a great opportunity to pick him up. And once again, the Red Ribbon Army Piccolo is going to be a good slot 3 floater / support, 110% support. And as I mentioned, you can get some superhero action going in here. This Gohan Gamma, good slot 1 character at 170% might be a little bit more compromised, but if you need to, that situation can work. You can run superhero on this team. Let me actually clear this up and let's filter by superhero just to see what sort of synergy we're getting. So yeah, 170%, but now, let's just say you don't have this guy. You don't have this dude. You don't have this guy. You just have this, right? This character needs some demonic power to get more of the stats going. This character can provide that demonic power. You're not going to be getting as much in terms of Dragon Ball Seekers. You do have 3 out of the 4 that you need, but you would need 1 more. But at least you can get some demonic power from this guy and this dude. This guy. Where's the Piccolo? Right there. Again, not ideal, but it can work. But the previous, can I control Z this? There you go. But this is the better way to do it. This is the ultimate way to use Panzy on Daima. All right, so we're basically just modifying again to accommodate this character Off Lead. So now Panzy is fitting on any Daima leader skill. It could be Super Saiyan 4, it could be Super Saiyan 3, it could be Super Saiyan 3 Mini, whatever you want. So not much of a difference like with the Arinsu. The only main change here is that Arinsu occupies slot 1, Panzy can be slot 2 or 3. So depending on what you want to do with the Panzy, if you want to have the Panzy with max synergy, then maybe you keep this unit on the main rotation and you can do something like this. Masked Panzy is free to play, by the way, so everyone can get the character, no excuses. But with double Super Saiyan 4 to just provide massive amounts of attack on multiple turns, assuming the EX can proc, that will give you a lot of extra stats or a lot of extra offense to sort of offset the lack of synergy that the Panzy is going to be missing with this Saiyan-focused Daima team. Remember what I said? Demonic Daima and Saiyan Daima. This is more of a, we're trying to fit both, but more so focusing on the Saiyan side. This is probably the better version of the team that most people are going to feel comfortable with anyway. So if you make Panzy less of a focus, but more of an afterthought, it's a more organic fit onto the team. But if you do want to do it, then you could bring in the masked Panzy, like I said, and that can give you the synergy. If that doesn't work out, then the occasional just multiple links with like Glorio or, well, not much with Piccolo. But whatever you need to do to make it work. This is the core engine, like these two, and then just whatever. But if you want to bring in that Panzy, then it's just a matter of how much synergy you want to give him. And in terms of alternates, it just depends on how much Daima character. Where the hell is Oh yeah, because this prioritizes smart fits, Panzy just doesn't fit because there's no synergy whatsoever. Oh, there she is. There she is. Yeah, Panzy's not at the top here. Oof. That's an oof. This is basically my point. Like, this is a 20+ minute video, effectively trying to send home the same point, and that is run a specific Daima demonic team, and you'll be fine. Otherwise, You're going to be seeing a lot of this, a lot of empty space between characters. Whatever else you want to throw in here is fine. You know, there you go. This, I would say this is probably what I would do. In slot 3. I mean, it's not a big deal. Like, oh my God, Panzy's not attacking. Oh man, I'm going to be nothing without my double Super Saiyan 4 Daima Goku onslaught. Man, I need a little bit more. Okay, Panzy, help me out here, buddy. Okay, let's move on. Dude, look at this team. So if you want to run both Panzy and Arinsu on the same team with now Panzy as the main lead, this is what we're looking at pretty much. And by the way, if you're wondering on the right side who these characters are, this is just placeholders. Cocotte is int. She's got the same sort of complexion like Arinsu, and then this is supposed to be Panzy, whatever. All right, so yeah, so this is our team. Panzy would be a slot 2 or 3. Arinsu would be slot 1. Actually, the best case scenario would be something like this: slot 1, slot 1, slot 2, slot 2. You've got for our extreme requirements, we've got 1, 2, 3, so that takes care of Arinsu. Mission execution, we have 1 and 2. That takes care of her thing. Panzy has nothing, and that's pretty much it. We can't really fit much else on this team because we need... Everybody here is pretty much needed except for you. I mean, we could take out... We could take out Mass Panzy, and we could throw in, you know, one of the heavier hitter characters. Maybe. Oh, God. Yeah. You could do this. But then, you know, you butcher the synergy even more. But it's up to you, so... There you go. For those of you curious, I don't think many people are going to care, but yeah, that's that version. And now let's finally move on to the best segment of the video. No new units. This applies to characters who have not yet returned in coinable purchase capacity. As of August 5th, 2026, LR Super Saiyan 3 Daima Vegeta has not yet returned, but everybody else, as you can see here, has. So these guys fit, and wow, does this look bad in terms of the strands. But yeah, so Arinsu will be slot 1. Okay, and then we could do something like this to make Glorio kind of link up with her. And then you've got a full monkey rotation to kind of lead this charge, or you can have Goma take over depending on what the situation calls for. As far as extreme goes, we've got 1, 2, 3. Mission execution, we've got 1, 2, 3. We only need 2 there, but we're good. So actually, this guy could be replaced with some other extreme character. Are there any other extreme characters that we could bring? That's all we've got. So no. To answer the no, there's nothing. There's nothing. So yeah, but I mean, even though this looks miserable, this is probably going to be a more naturally occurring team that you're going to see out there, just because not many people are going to have these units, and even if they do, they're not going to want to run them as much. Like, look at, we've got a nice setup on this rotation. This one is going to be a little bit more iffy because of the slot 2, slot 3 situation, but at least Arinsu is comfortably accommodated in this rotation. We don't have to deal with both fronts, because I think Goma is still more than capable as a slot 1 defender. So this is our Arinsu no new unit setup, and again, the main lead can just be whatever you want. It can be the Daima Super Saiyan 3 if you have that character, but you know, that's a no new units violation, so we don't include that. It could be this guy if you have him. By the time you're watching this, maybe down the road, this guy would have already come out. Just depends on what you have. It could also be the mini version, but I'm just leading it with him. So there you go. Now let's go ahead and put together the same thing, but for Panzy. So let me get rid of you. And we're actually going to do this one together, just so you guys can see. We're doing a live brain surgery here. We don't have an extreme requirement anymore. So instead, let me just, it's going to be full Daima. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the category, make it Daima. All right. And who else do we want to throw in here? Let's throw you. We can see it right here. Oh yeah, Masked Panzy. That's the other one that I wanted to bring. Masked Panzy's my best friend. Okay. So there you go. We're all set. Boom. Glorio's in his natural position in the slot 3. Super Saiyan 3 Goku Mini is a great fit to go alongside the Panzy for the extra dodge, the extra stats. This guy's surprisingly capable. Not like, you know, end game ultra challenging event capable, but you know, free to play, no new units. It's a good one to throw in there. If you don't like that, you know, depending on whoever else you have, just throw them on there. We don't have a requirement now to have, you know, certain extreme characters. I will say there is the one thing you need to watch out for with Masked Panzy, which is you need to have 4 demonic power. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to have super characters. We need to have Daima characters. We need to have Dragon Ball Seekers. 1, 2. These two are Dragon Ball Seekers, right? 3, 4. Pretty sure. I think. Yeah, everybody's a Dragon Ball Seeker. So Wiku. So you know what? Maybe we'll change this up. This could be something else completely different. We don't have to worry about it. Forget the Diamond Mini, support. Forget all that. Let's throw in Beast. I mean, that's a violation of the no new units policy, but maybe you have Beast. You could throw in Beast. You could throw in this guy. You could throw in whoever you want. You could throw in this dude. This guy in the slot 3 is not going to be too bad. He also has the extra dodge, so he'd be cool. Piccolo's great. So yeah, actually Panzy, no new units wise, is a little bit more easygoing as long as you've got this character than the Arinsu. And there you have it. That is the best teams video for both Panzy and Arinsu. 30 plus minutes of me basically telling you just run Daima, and don't feel too bad about it if you don't have a lot of Saiyan representation in there, because honestly, it just makes it worse. It doesn't allow Panzy and Arinsu to shine if you've got all the Saiyans sucking up all the glory. So you know what? Let's try some Daima without some Saiyans for a change. You know what I'm saying? Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like down below. Load in the comments. What do you think are some of the best team combinations, team builds to run with the Arinsu and the Panzy? Is there a combination that I didn't otherwise shout out in this video that you want to point out there? Maybe it's something crossover based, superhero based, something else entirely. Do share in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content of the future and click the notification bell so that you'll let YouTube know you're going to see more of my stuff. Do it. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.